Tiger fans. Thanks for joining us for a new week of Tiger Timeout on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton here with you as we take a look around Tiger and Lady Tiger hoops, and we start with the head coach of the Tigers, the Lady Tigers, I should say, Ginger High Colvin. Coach, busy week. We're coming down the stretch here on the season, just a handful of games left. We didn't get to sit here last week, so let's rewind a bit. Go way back in the vault. Monster road trip for you guys, wins over Freed-Hardeman and Bethel, two top 10 teams in the country down at their place, and that's a monumental weekend for you.
It was. That's such a hard road trip to be on, and then we had to come back and we knew we had Georgetown at home, so that was a tough swing, but played really well. I was pleased with how we played, especially at their places, and for both had great crowds. Both, probably the best two crowds we've played in front of at their places, and just super happy with the way we played.
Unheard of stretch here for you all. You've actually had 4 straight games. You go Freed, Bethel, Georgetown, Cumberlands, climb back to the 10 spot. So 4 straight games against top 10 opponents. That's a murderer's row that no schedule maker would do intentionally. It's just kind of luck of the draw in this Mid-South
Conference. And then you
Conference.
throw back in tomorrow, have Freed again, and that's that's what we were talking. It's top 10, top 10, top 10. Top 10, 4 in a row, and that was just that was hard. It was hard on our girls. In the mix, we found out Bree Gowdy was not able to continue to play this year for some medical reasons, and so we're figuring a few things out. And I thought they adapted well. I thought they played well, considering. And then that was a tough physically and mentally challenging trip for sure.
Absolutely, and Bree actually kind of stepped away, made that decision prior to the Georgetown game at home last week, and Jeff Nichols' club came in. You actually you won that game. You extended the program record 20-0, the program record, your 20th win.
Yep.
You're pretty good at that. I think outside of year number 1, that's the only year that you haven't won 20. And I know every year I bring that up, and it's those overtime games, Coach. It was how many of them was it? That
5.
There
were 5 overtime games.
But the thing that I couldn't share with you was it was the previous record of victories to open a season was ended by Shawnee State, number 7 in the country, in the Powell Center that was coached by Jeff Nichols. I didn't tell you that, so I do care. I didn't tell Coach that prior to the game. It was a number 7 Georgetown team coached by Jeff Nichols at the Powell Center, and your ladies took care of business Thursday.
And a team that's probably as similar to that Shawnee team as a team that he's had. A very good team. I think probably the best team in our league. In Georgetown, so getting that win here, and we still have to go to Georgetown, but getting that win here and protecting our home court was huge.
Tioni McDaniel, you made her inefficient defensively. You were able to get after them, and those are the things that you've hung your hat on over the years. A lot of turnovers and different stuff allowed you to play in transition at times, and it kind of, it's just one of those old classics between you and a Jeff Nichols coach team. They did some similarities between them and Shawnee State.
For sure.
That was a fun basketball game to watch.
Afterwards. Not before.
For me, it was fun. Everyone in the Powell except you and Miranda Denny.
But Jeff always puts a good team on the floor, and it's taken him a couple years at Georgetown, but I knew there would be no doubt he would go right back to his winning ways and doing what he does well. And he brings in super athletic kids that can get downhill quick, and kids that are very, very hard to guard. So we had to worry a lot about transition, about not letting them get easy buckets. And they're a tough guard. That's absolutely for sure. They rebound it. They just have every piece. And I think Jeff and I both agree once we get out of the league, our teams are going to have a really good shot. It's just getting out of this league.
And the Lady Tigers were on the road Saturday in Williamsburg. We'll take a look at the numbers from that contest with the Patriots, and this is a rarity for the Lady Tigers. It just wasn't your day, Coach. You could go back, and I'm not sure that you'll even watch this game film, but we had talked Friday, and you had mentioned, worried about the long trips, the legs, all the things that go in it. The rotation has been shortened without Bree Gowdy, and a perfect storm for Cumberlands. They played terrific in the second half, and I had even mentioned on radio, early in the game, you kind of held them down. They couldn't get much going offensively. Typically, you guys extend, and you go to halftime up 18-19. You couldn't, and unfortunately, Joy Kendrick got hot in the second half.
Yeah, and it's their Super Bowl. We know that, and they come out, and I just felt like we ran out of gas that second half. I was pleased with how we held with them because I think they're super talented, and but we literally ran out of gas, and we'll figure those things out later. It's just a matter of we'd been on a really tough swing, and they played exceptional. And hats off to them for coming in and for hanging in there after the first half, and then for really just turning on the Jets the second half. They've got two of the best guards in America, and I just thought all their kids played well. And
we touched on this after the game, I think, with Georgetown, but I do want to spend a moment on the Bree Gowdy situation briefly. Basically got to a point where some medical professionals were telling her it's probably a good time to maybe call this thing before there are issues that we can't fix later. And Bree had to make a very difficult decision. The ball stops bouncing for everyone. Sometimes, it comes due to a physical issue, and for her it's now.
It is, and it's no secret. Bree shared her story on Facebook, so I feel confident it's okay for me to share that. Bree had thyroid cancer as an 8th grader, had her thyroid removed. Before her sophomore season at Campbellsville, had some more issues with an adrenal gland, had the adrenal gland removed. And then this year came in, was playing great, had just was playing great, was everything that we needed her to be, and just started feeling bad and could not get through it. And Bree is not the type of kid to ever take a possession off in practice. She's just the epitome of a practice player and a gamer. But she just pushed herself to where she couldn't push anymore, and we just ultimately made the decision that, her long-term health and her overall quality of life is what's important. And Bree still got her mouth. She's still going to be communicating. She's in practice. She'll be in practice. She just physically can't be on the floor with us. And I feel like she'll be really good for Adia Bradley for these freshmen coming up, because Bree is a really good leader on the court.
The Lady Tigers will certainly miss Bree Gowdy on the floor, but good to know that her presence will still be around the program for the next few years or so. We'll step away here, take a break. We'll come back and we'll visit with the head coach about the upcoming contest at the Powell Center. Freed-Hardeman Thursday, on the road Saturday in Lebanon, Tennessee against Cumberland. Stay with us here on Tiger Timeout.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
We are champions of character.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. Reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Welcome back to Tiger Timeout here on the CU Sports Network. Matt Payton and the head coach of the Lady Tigers, Ginger High Colvin, here as we look ahead for Campbellsville Thursday evening. Tomorrow night they'll welcome in Freed-Hardeman and Coach Abby Stutz in her first year. And Coach, it's a top 10 Freed-Hardeman team. We'll jump right into it. You got them pretty good down at their place. No doubt they'd like to come here and put a feather in their hat. And it's it's a Freed-Hardeman team. They're going to slow things down a little bit. But Carissa Curtis, Rachel Satterley, they've got some scoring, some firepower to say the least.
Yeah, they can fill it up. And then if you get too wide, they've got Odom on the inside. They're really, really solid inside and out. Coach Stutz has come in and done an amazing job first year as a coach, and the guy's a top 10 team. And just we have our hands full. I thought we shot the ball extremely well down there against them early and got them on their heels. But, the Satterley sisters, I think Anderson County is going to be here, and that'll be great for our program, great for Freed's program, and great for Anderson's program to watch their kids compete at another level. And hopefully we'll have a good crowd. We have a ring ceremony and we're looking forward to it. But we do know that it's going to be a tough game.
Will you dare ask Lainey Johnson who she will be rooting for Thursday night with her old teammates and Jenna Satterley most recently?
Yeah.
Of course, or we just stay away from that?
I think we stay away from that. Clay Birdwhistle, their coach, he's one in a million, and he's such a great coach. Obviously, you can see by the kids that he's put on the floor. Sammy Rogers is recent with us too, and if COVID hadn't have hit and we hadn't have had the holdovers and limited scholarship money, I think we could have hit the Satterleys a lot harder, and we just weren't able to do that. And Freed was smart, and they did. But it's great for their program and great for their community. They've absolutely produced some great ones.
And talk about that ring ceremony. Welcome back a lot of those young ladies from last year's team. Several still on the roster, of course, but it'll be nice to have some of those back in the house as well and honor them and some of their achievements, accomplishments, especially the Mid-South Conference Championships.
Yeah, you never think about it when it's happening because during a sporting season, you're always thinking about the next game and the next game, and even. I think it just takes you a while to appreciate what those kids were able to do, and hopeful they'll all be able to come back. I know Kaylin Mills had a previous engagement, but other than that, we think everybody's going to be able to make it in. Not sure when this airs, but I even think we've got some long distance kids that are going to be able to make it in. She's maybe going to surprise some people, and we're hopeful about that, but it's just going to be fun having all those kids back together.
Well, I won't spoil any surprises, but that's certainly good news if we get that one back in the house. But Saturday on the road again, and we're coming down the stretch. You and the men's team, we're running out of games here. Just 2 more road trips. You'll go to Cumberland this weekend. Next weekend, Georgetown, but the Phoenix, a team, again, we'll say it till I'm blue in the face, as long as Kayla Gordon's around, they've got a chance. Emily Tarpley continues to develop, and Mark Vaughn's done a great job there.
And they do have a transfer that's playing for them now, played 8 minutes the last game, and I know he's going to play her, not in the tournament, but some of the in-game. But Kayla Gordon, when she sees us, her eyes get big, and we're going to have to do a much better job. I think she had 18 on us the last time we played. We just have to do a better job on her. And it's not just her is what the scary thing is. He's got a lot of kids that can do a lot of things, and you just can't go in expecting them not to. It's going to be a home game for them, one of their last home games, and a game that they have no pressure in. And Mark will do a great job getting those kids developed, and you just can't go in not prepared, that's for sure.
Coach, best of luck this weekend, and enjoy the ceremony tomorrow night.
Thank you.
The Lady Tigers will honor that group at halftime of the men's game, so they'll get their game with Freed-Hardeman in the books, and then they'll do that at halftime of the men's game. Coverage begins at 5:15, tip-off at 5:30 on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. We'll step away, come back, and visit with the head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon, here on Tiger Timeout. Welcome back to Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton here with you as we turn over to Tiger basketball. Campbellsville back in action tomorrow evening in the Powell Athletic Center as Freed-Hardeman comes to Campbellsville. They'll enter play tomorrow evening, the number 1 ranked team in the country. We'll touch on that in a bit with the head coach, Brent Vernon. But let's rewind. Coach, it's been a few weeks since we've been here, and unfortunately, last week, illness for you, illness for the family, illness for your Tiger basketball family. It's been a whirlwind for you guys, and not the kind of whirlwind right now that you want to be in. It's been a rough go, and hopefully everybody's getting healthy. That's the main thing.
We are getting closer. We've had enough bodies to practice. Last week, leading into the Cumberlands game, we didn't even practice up until Wednesday. We were out for a long time. We only had 7 bodies between illness and injuries, and we were just trying to get right. In fact, I'm sorry, that was Georgetown. We didn't have many days to prepare. We were getting shots up and keeping some guys sharp and talking about things. We didn't even see our whole team until Saturday when we were leaving for the Cumberlands game, and we were still shorthanded there. But this week's been a good week. A lot of energy. We've been able to have more bodies available. So I do believe we're getting closer, and that's what we have to do as we get down this final stretch of games.
When it rains, it pours, and I've joked this go around that not only is it pouring, you don't have an umbrella anywhere in sight, but you go back to that Freed-Bethel series.
Yeah.
And this is a Freed team, top 5 in the country for most of the year. Bethel has struggled a bit. They've got a lot of new pieces they're trying to work in. And this is kind of a microcosm of your schedule. For the last 3 or 4 years, you've played Bethel first. Mm-hmm. This year you go to Freed first, and you get Bethel on the Saturday. And as the way it would play out, you guys give Freed-Hardeman all they want for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
You have a nasty ankle roll late in the game. That night, Cam Vick wakes up sick, and you take a depleted roster into the Bethel matchup, where, as years past, you would have at least had your A game going into the Bethel game. It has been, Murphy's Law right now. What can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, it has. And like I said, we go into the Freed game with, Dalton Kramer playing, but Dalton had not practiced Tuesday or Wednesday from sickness. And he was feeling quite a bit better, but still fatigue settles in quicker and everything. And like you said, for 35 minutes, we were neck and neck with Freed, and we talked about it going to be a game of runs, and one team's going to have a little bit of a bigger run, and unfortunately it was Freed. They made some incredibly tough shots against us the last 5 minutes, and we ran out of a little bit of steam. And with 4 minutes to go, we lost Keyston Brown to an ankle injury, who was playing extremely well at the time, so that was tough. And we get back and we're preparing and prepping and doing everything for Friday. Obviously, we know with the injury, Keyston's out. Dalton doesn't practice with us on Friday because of the fatigue from his sickness. Cam is practicing. And then we wake up Saturday morning, Dalton feeling a little better. Cam is 100% out. So now it goes back to our 2-point guards aren't available. And so we're trying to piece some things together. First half against Bethel, trying to piece it together was a little rough. Couldn't find the basket enough. And then the second half really started finding a groove, playing well. But we had to use so much energy to get back in the game. Give Bethel credit. They made some dagger shots late that just got them over the hump.
Yeah, the Tigers will hope to get that one back here next week at the Powell Center, as they last Thursday took on Georgetown, top 3 in the country coaches. They come in, and it's a Georgetown team you and I talked about. They're different. They don't have the Kyron Jones or the Cam Brooks Harris of the world, but, man, Jaquias Franklin and others can make shots. They came in, gapped you a little bit early. You kind of stayed in the hip pocket with them throughout the stretch, but you couldn't make up enough ground there.
No, yeah, they shot it really well. I think 14 of 27 from 3, and they're a good 3-point shooting team, nothing like that, but some guys who had been struggling shooting made some shots. We settled in again, and it was back and forth. We had cut the lead, I think 4 or 5 at one time, and then they go on a run. But, late in the first half, a really big segment of possession, 9, we've got the ball, shot clock is off, we're in transition. As a coach, you want the last second shot to where, all right, it's 9 or less going into the break. Kobe makes a pass to Jay, still about 10 on the shot clock. Jay is wide open in the corner. He's already made one. You put your center in a little bit of an unusual spot, he shoots it. It's one of those, if it goes in, you're loving life because you've cut it to 6. If he misses, now you're getting back and you're doing everything for a stop. He makes or misses the shot, they come in transition, and they make a shot from about 30 feet as the horn sounds. So it goes from 9 to 12, what could have been 6. That right there was a really big momentum swing that I think it probably, even though there's 20 minutes left, was a pretty big dagger for us. I thought we battled extremely hard in the second half. Again, no Cam Vick, and that made it very tough for us. But we had some guys step up and do some good things.
And we'll extend this segment here as we look back on the matchup with Cumberlands. We'll take a look at the numbers of the game in Williamsburg this past weekend. 86-78, Kobe Penny matched a career best with 25, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Dalton Kramer was good as well, 16 and 6. Marcellus Vale starting to really look healthy. We may touch on that later if we have some more time. And Coach, you guys went from down 17, I believe, in that game to up 7 with 8 minutes or so to go. You had a lead with 5 minutes to go. Elephant in the room, we'll just say it, we'll call it what it was. It was one of the most difficult games to watch from an officiating standpoint that I've ever seen in my life. The final foul count was 46 free throws, I believe, to 15. 47 to 15. Sorry. And, I mean, he's not upset about it at all, folks. Also, the total foul scenario, you fouled 3 guys out. Yeah. Fouls were double in the game. And just in case you're wondering, no zone was played. And you shot about the same amount of three-point shots. Yeah. 3 fouls on threes, I think, called on the Tigers in that game in favor of Cumberlands. It was difficult. It's a really good basketball team.
Very.
They don't need any help. You outplayed them on the road, and it's a frustrating result.
Yeah, first 4 or 5 minutes, I thought we came out sluggish and struggled, and then we really settled in and played a great brand of basketball. We defended extremely well. We settled in and made sure we got the shots we wanted, as you stated. You can have some skews at times if a team is sitting there living and dying by the 3. We shot 1 more 3-point attempt than they did. We both made 6 for the game. Field goals, we made 4 more total field goals than they did. And as you said, with the foul count, triple the free throws. Fortunately, we lose by 8, and it is what it is. Fortunately for us, with how the fouls were, they missed some free throws. Yeah, if not, we would have got beat 25. And, for someone who didn't watch the game or see it, would have think, well, they really got defeated handily. But if you really want to break things down, we were 14 and 15 from the foul line. Give us 10 more and make it to where they're only shooting, a third more free throws than us. I really like our chances. And we did everything possible we could. We attacked the rim. We defended the way we wanted to. We rebounded well. Like I said, we made more overall shots than they did. I think we played a team that is top 15 nationally on the road. And honestly, as a coach going back and watching our performance, I thought we were the better team that day. And unfortunately, those things happen and you can't do anything about it. You control what you can control. But I'm really proud of our guys. They held their composure. In those situations, you can easily lose sight of things and really lose your composure. And they handled it like grown men. I was really proud of them.
I walked out of there. I told each of those guys they deserved a better result in Williamsburg. It didn't happen that day. Hopefully, good things coming Thursday night as number 1 comes to Tiger Town. We'll step away here. We'll come back and visit with the head coach about this weekend's game. Stay with us here on Tiger Timeout.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Owen, when you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life. And I'm so proud to call you my son.
Closeout segment on this week's edition of Tiger Timeout. Thanks for joining us on the Campbellsville University Sports Network as we take a look at the week upcoming for Campbellsville's Tigers. They are at home tomorrow evening against number 1 Freed-Hardeman, on the road Saturday in Lebanon, Tennessee to take on the Cumberland Phoenix. And as Coach Brent Vernon joins me, Coach, oddly enough, number 1 Freed-Hardeman, they might drop. Next poll, they actually lost to your opponent on Saturday. Cumberland, we saw the Phoenix here at home earlier this year. Cumberland on the road Saturday, of course, up first. It's number 1 Freed-Hardeman. I think you got some guys to be chomping at the bit for that rematch.
Yeah, I believe so. And obviously a really good team. Big, strong, physical, really defend well. You know, it's one of those games that you laugh because, you know, we talk about officiating some. The team how they officiate really influences this game. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's like that with all teams or all opponents in our league, but Freed is a team that they try to force their will upon you, and they're very physical. So, you know, you look at the stats when they went, you know, Cumberland, you shot 38 free throws against Freed. When we went down to Freed, we shot 8. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things that depending on how physical the game is, you have to be able to adjust, and we will too, but it was a really great game at Freed. A hard place to play, a rowdy student section, reigning national champion, all that stuff. So I think we're very excited. We've had a great week of practice. We've watched a lot of film to correct some things, and I think we'll be ready to go on Thursday.
Let's take a look at the numbers of the upcoming matchup with Freed-Hardeman as the Lions visit Campbellsville, the Powell Athletic Center tomorrow evening. You can see there Freed 19-3 on the year. One of the better free throw. I don't know if those numbers are correct now that I'm looking at them, Coach. Field goal percentage, much better than that, up around 50%. But anyway, it's a Freed-Hardeman team that they're going to. Payton Law's kind of the main guy, right? Yeah. He's the energy, he's the physical piece down inside, and it's a fun matchup with he and Jay Milburn, as long as both can stay on the floor, of course.
It is, and we were, again, our attention to detail down at Freed was one of our top ones of the year, because if you mess up with them, it's in the rim. They do a lot of really quirky motion offense to where it's really hard to practice that and prep it. You can do a lot of scout stuff as you prepare for teams, but you have to watch their stuff, because you can't have 4 or 5 guys go out there and run their stuff if you're not practicing it. So you really have to understand their personnel, their weaknesses, their strengths, and really take that away. Again, I thought we did a good job for that for about 36 minutes. And it wasn't that we were bad those last 4. They made a lot of shots, a lot of difficult shots, and again, that happens sometimes. So we're going to try to put together a full 40 on Thursday night.
And again, Cumberland on Saturday down to Lebanon, Tennessee, and you're running low on regular season games. Yeah. Oddly enough, we're almost out of them. You've got one more Saturday trip, Georgetown the following week, and then back home. So you've only got a handful of games left, and it's a Cumberland team. They got you here. They played really good basketball that night, but I'm looking forward to the rematch down there.
Me too, and they're playing extremely well right now. They're playing hard. They're playing with confidence. They're a physical, athletic team that can score the basketball. They've really here lately picked up their defensive intensity, and that's what sort of got us at home. We played good, and we got a little bit of foul trouble. You know, they really start pressuring us and making it a little harder for us on the offensive end. So I think it was something that we weren't, and it's not that we weren't prepared for, but caught us a little off guard of things that they had previously done. And now they've done the same thing to some other teams. So they're playing with good confidence. It'll be a great challenge for us, but one that we're definitely going to be ready for.
Best of luck tomorrow night. Shock the world, my man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
The Tigers host number 1 Freed-Hardeman on the men's side. The women's side, a top 10 matchup. Get to the Powell Athletic Center tomorrow evening. Games begin at 5:30 with the Lady Tigers. They'll honor, again, their Mid-South Conference championship team from last year at halftime of the Tiger matchup as well. So blackout, come out to the Powell Center and root on these 2 basketball teams. For the head coach, Brent Vernon, as well as Ginger, hi, Colvin. I'm Matt Payton. We'll see you next time on Tiger Timeout.